it's going to happen. Perfect. Mr. Jesse Fox, welcome to the podcast room here at Drag Drive Repeat HQ.
Dude, this is awesome.
The video that you guys are going to see, I don't know, whenever he does the adventure video for here, do not judge me. I promise it will be better as we go along. The next time he comes, the shop will be clean. I'll have running cars. We'll be able to do fun stuff. But for now, I think we're just going to hang out here.
I kind of surprised him a little bit. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing today? I'm on my way through."
Yeah, I had an hour and a half.
Yeah,
there's plenty of time there. So yeah, we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk. We're going to answer some questions from people in the chat. We're going to just kind of talk about the trip that Jesse was just on. I was on part of it, and we're going to take questions and comments from the chat out there in the world. So, dude, let's start talking about. Introduce yourself to the folks that are following here, and then I'll do the same for the folks.
Absolutely. So, my name's Jesse Fox. I am a creator of some sorts in the drag and drive space. I do YouTube videos. I do photos. So my actual quote unquote job is I'm a photographer for the drag and drive scene. So I follow around the events and take photos of the guys, sell photo packages, and then also I have photos on my website if you want to go check that out, 3gvideo.net. Have all my profile with all the photos from the different events. Got a couple of events that we haven't still got up yet, but we're filling it out.
Are you saying that you're behind a little bit because you've been on the road for like a solid 2 months?
Well, somewhat, but some of it's my fault. Actually, some of the photos that aren't up, all the stuff from this year is up. It's stuff from last year. I got a couple of events I did. So I got the system figured out now, but we're just trying to get that backups or the last year stuff. So we got a couple of events that aren't out there, but it's fine. So,
it'll be fine. And that's the way it goes. Dude, so you are a world traveler. You've been all over, and that's one thing we gotta talk about is your trips coming up too, because you got some fun stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, some that I haven't announced, so we might have to announce some stuff here.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
well, for the folks that are following on Jesse's channel, which we're live on 3G Video on YouTube and Facebook both right now. My name is Mike Narks. I run Drag Drive Repeat with my right-hand man, Eric White, who is at work today. And this is a surprise for him for if he sees this, he's gonna be like, wait, I wasn't even invited. But Eric, we love you, bud. We know what's going on. And Jesse, again, swung by the shop, thought we would just hook up and do this. It'd be a lot of fun. So I do stats. We do Eric and I do 2 weekly live streams to just really focus 100% on the drag and drive community. Everything we do is for that. And then I'm also part owner, but don't do much work in Narcoleptic Customs, which is where you guys are watching this too. My brother Steven owns that, and so I do some of the social media for it and really just moral support for him. But that's kind of what I do over here. So,
dude, Michael is always the person that I go to when I have any questions on like any stats. I'm like, hey, was this person at this event, or like what did they run? Because he's generally, if he doesn't just know it off the top of his head, he can go find it really quick in his stats and stuff. So
I'm a nerd. Hey, speaking of Eric White, 815 LSX Swaps, saying hello in here this morning. So as you can see, we're going to be putting up the comments throughout this. We literally, this came about 20 minutes ago, and we were like, man, let's just throw it together and jump on here. So we really don't have like a structure, which is weird for me because I'm like, Eric knows I need notes, I need topics and things like that. So we're just going to kind of riff and have some fun.
Yeah, we got a couple of things to talk about too. Some stuff that we talked off camera beforehand that we kind of are going to probably talk about a little bit as we go on. One of the things what we were talking about was with 666. It's kind of funny because neither of us were at the entire event, but between both of us, we were at the whole thing. So
that's exactly right.
So we got the whole thing covered, but just in a little bit different fashion there.
Yeah, and I have hundreds of videos to get edited from that. That's my plan. So the week I left early to come back for Midwest Drag Racing Series for their finals for the Pro Mod and Top Alcohol Funny Car. And anyways, all the classes that they did their world finals this last weekend. So I left early and had zero time to edit videos. So it's pretty rough. So I think I have 650 videos I haven't touched yet. So
now, you got a lot.
I edit a lot. I chop out a lot. So I do a burnout, chop it, pass, chop it.
Well, so, you got a lot of street burnouts. I didn't get very many at 666.
Yeah, big shout out to Chris White, a circuit racer who couldn't participate in 666, but did a burnout box at his house. But one step further, actually like made signs and then put signs like leading up to it for like a mile. So you knew the burnout box was coming. Man, it was so awesome to pull in there. And I don't know, I stayed there for like an hour. So big shout out to Chris and just having some fun. Some of his friends stopped by, some racers did burnouts and then turned around and come back and hung out. So it was pretty fun.
Dude, so speaking of that, I have a funny story from last year. So you were talking about having signs out ahead of time, which is super cool and
Yep.
it helps, but don't do that in Canada. We
Oh.
found out real quick you don't do that because that is illegal. So
To put signs out without a
Mhm.
permit or something?
or no, it's because
Oh.
you're encouraging. So then you're the one that actually instigated doing the burnout. So you're the one that gets.
Oh yeah, I'd be in
Yeah,
real trouble then.
yeah, it was a problem.
Yeah. Yes. That's
So,
awesome. Well,
be aware.
big shout out to Ken White. I was struggling with the microphones one morning. Apparently, the spot I was sitting in or the frequency I was on was also just feeding right into the microphone. So it was like Derek Putnam was talking to Rovic
Oh,
right there through me. So thanks to Ken, because after the Rovic interview, I jumped on with him. I was like, man, can you help me figure out
yeah,
what's going on here? And so he did. I appreciate that for sure. And then my mom bouncing in here.
that's
Good
awesome.
morning, or afternoon to my mom.
Oh, that's
See you
afternoon
soon.
now, man.
Trying to make the trip down there for Thanksgiving. So
Ooh, there you go.
yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, our Thanksgiving's gonna be a little different this year. It's,
yeah.
yeah, after everything that went on, but we don't even
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it. So,
yeah. It's tough, man. That's
yeah,
we don't get to my mom's house very often, and so when we do, it's it's
that'd be good.
like everybody tries to come in.
Dude,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanksgiving and Christmas always good.
Yeah.
I love it.
So let's talk about the main thing, the elephant in the room, dude. How did you survive Roswell and the crazy record flood?
Oh, that was a lot of praying went into that one.
Yeah.
It was I was very blessed to be at the what was that, west side of town,
Mhm.
because I had no idea that it floods that bad there, and it hasn't in 120 years.
Oh wow.
They haven't got that much rain in 120 years. Like, and even back then, it wasn't as much as we got now because they reset the
Wow.
record from 120 years ago.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, so like they aren't used to getting any rain out there at all in Roswell. So when a thunderstorm came through, it dropped some rain, and
Yeah.
I'm used to being out, in Indiana and stuff. We can take 5 inches of rain. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good, but we're not going to have anything happen. Like, we got ways to get rid of the water out there. They don't because
It doesn't rain
it
that
doesn't
much.
rain. Like,
Yeah.
and I was talking to them, we're like, yeah, it hasn't rained for 4 months, and like then it just 5.5 or 5.7 inches of rain come in. But thankfully, I was out at a city park on the west side of town, and I was sitting there editing on my computer. I was just sitting in the car editing, hanging out, getting some work done, so you guys have some content out on the last day of Rocky Mountain Race Week of 666. That video, I was just editing it, getting it uploaded, and the storm rolls in. And I'm just looking at it like, no big deal. It's just
Right.
it's just a storm. And it wasn't just
It
a storm.
wasn't just a storm.
So I was sitting there, and about 2 hours into the storm, I had got all my work done, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm hungry, and I was like, it's raining. I don't want to get the generator out. I don't want to fix food here.
Yeah.
It's raining. I want to go sit down somewhere and just kind of eat and be
Yeah.
out of the rain, not be in my car listening to it. And it started hailing. It was wild. So I take off and start driving, and I get about 300 feet. I get out of the parking lot, turn onto the road, and the first intersection is completely underwater. Like, probably a good foot underwater. Like,
Man,
just
that's bad in a super low Volvo.
yeah, weird. I have like 4 inches of ground clearance. So yeah. So I roll up to this water and I see these cars driving through it, but they're like lifted trucks and stuff driving. I'm like, I'm not trying that. Like, I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. So I whipped a Yui, went back the other way on the same road, and I can't see anything. Okay, disclaimer: my windshield wipers broke like last trip, and I haven't got them fixed yet. I know it's a problem, but this whole trip
But
it hadn't
I
rained,
was saying,
so it
but
wasn't a
it
big deal
wasn't a problem. It wasn't a
until
problem. Yeah.
it
Until
was.
it was.
And I go barreling down this road, just not trying to see. I'm going slow, but I'm just driving. And before I know it, I'm in water, like water. And the engine starts sounding weird because the exhaust is underwater, and I'm just like, oh, it sounds like a boat now. Like, okay. And there wasn't really an option to go back. I had a truck behind me, and like I didn't know you couldn't see the road. I couldn't see anything. So this truck goes around me. I just follow him through it, And thankfully, it didn't get any deeper than where it was.
I wonder what the guy's thought in the truck was. Like, he's like, this guy's in the way. And he goes around you. And then he looks back. He's like, that guy's following me.
Yeah,
What is he doing?
I don't know. But I got out of it and got on the other side. And there was a firehouse. And then there was a church. It was the backside of a church. They had a little like gravel parking lot that was raised. And the next intersection was also like completely flooded. But this one was a river. Like the other one was like standing water. This one was straight up just flowing. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. So I flipped around and went into the parking lot and parked up, and I saw the fire truck come back, and they were backing the truck into the bay. So I was like, I'm gonna throw my hat on. I'm gonna run over there and just ask them like, hey, is it safe here, or whatever. And they were like, yeah, you're in the high part of town. You're safe here. And I was like, I was looking out the road at like
that
water, just like I was like,
Ugh.
this is the high part. Okay,
Man,
we're in it now. You know, that was
you're committed.
that was when I knew it was serious. You know, we're getting like the warnings on the phone are going off, and it's just like constantly going off.
Now they're going off.
Well, they had gone off before, but
Yeah.
like I mean, it went off 3 or 4 times. Like I was like, hey, flash flood warning, like don't travel like unless you're evacuating. And I'm sitting there in the car, and I'm just like, oh, geez.
I'm trying to evacuate.
Right, and but thankfully the parking lot that I was at there was high enough that it didn't get, you know, we didn't get submerged in water or anything. And I just camped there that night.
Yeah.
Got some sleep. Thankfully, I don't know how, but I got some sleep. And then the next morning I got up around 5, and the water had receded up in that area enough that I could get back to the park. Went back there for a little bit, and then it was Sunday morning, so I ended up going and find a church that was actually still having service that morning. And then after that I went and explored the town. You guys can see that part on the video. I have a long form video on my YouTube channel over there at 3G Video, and it's got some drone footage of the town. It was bad.
Man, that's crazy.
Downtown, like I had just been downtown the night before, like getting a sticker and stuff, and just cruising downtown because it's Roswell. It's cool. It's got all the alien stuff everywhere. And then to see what it looked like in the morning it was rough. There's the north side of town is up on a hill, and it was fine. Yeah. But the south side of town, which is like the river, and then the south was not good.
That's not good. Well, man, I see a lot of folks in here saying hi, and I appreciate you guys stopping by for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your ride home, and then let's get you back to here to my house in Northwest Arkansas, and then we'll start and kind of tell the story of the trip out. So, So what'd you see on the way from Roswell to here? Where'd you stop? All that kind of stuff.
I didn't have any plan coming from Roswell. You know, it was after going through that, it was like, okay, that was heavy. You know, I want to have some chill time. And there was supposed to be another storm coming to Roswell Sunday night. So I was like, I'm getting out of town. You know, I don't want to deal with that again. So I hopped up on Highway 70 there in New Mexico and just kind of cruised out with no plan really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like head east, you know, like head back kind of home. And I got on the road at like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. You know, the sun was starting to go down out there, and I didn't think anything about it. You know, whatever. I drive at night a lot, so and I just got cruising. And sun goes down. I got out, got a couple sunset pictures with the car, just because I started trying to do more of that for the Instagram. I think people. It's weird. I always think people don't want to see stuff about my car, and then like when I post it, then some people do.
Awesome.
I'm learning that people kind of like that. Yeah. So I'm trying to put some more posts out on Instagram about actual pictures of Vinny and stuff. So got some sunset photos, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Are they up on Instagram right now?
No, not yet. Well,
rude.
I'm working on it.
Rude.
Some of these are saved for when this video comes out. Like they're going to be posted at the same time. So
right.
But the sunset picture was all right. Like, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't. Yeah. I've done sunset pictures before. But I'm going along there, and those storms that were supposed to come through actually went a little bit east of Roswell, but then they were north of where I was. But I could see them as I'm driving across there, because you're out in the middle of absolutely. Cool. I mean, this is out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, to get to Roswell, to mind you, on day 7 of 666, to get there was a 90-mile stretch or it was like 97 miles or something from the last gas station to Roswell, and there's nothing. Like, it's literally just flat plains for 97 miles of just like,
oh man, no thanks.
It blew a lot of people's minds that aren't from that area, that had never seen that before. I had some of the drivers come up and be like, I didn't know that was even possible. They're like, you come over this little tiny ridge and it's just the same thing. It's like,
Again.
yeah, and you're like running 90-mile-an-hour across there. They're like, what? Yeah, no, that's welcome to the West.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I would imagine that's pretty
cool. So it was, that type of territory. It wasn't as far to the next town the way that I was going, but we're out in nowhere. And these storms, it gets dark, and these storms are just north, and they're parallel on the highway. Like they're just kind of like they're not coming towards me, but they're just parallel on the highway.
Oh,
And you look over, and you can just see lightning just like
that's cool.
flickering in both storms, like just flickering there. And I was like, I want to get some lightning shots. Like I wanted some good lightning shots for 3 years, and I've tried like multiple times and never got like the shot. Like where lightning striking the ground and like clouds all lit up and everything. I was like, I want that shot. I was like, I want this shot. So I pulled over and got the camera out on a tripod. I'm literally on the side of this highway, have cars blowing past me at like 75 miles an hour in the middle of the night. Like, but I was like, I'm getting the shot. And I sat there for probably 45 minutes shooting at the one cloud that was in front of me, just trying to get something. And like, I just kept, nothing came, nothing good. Like you get like the top of the cloud a little light and something. And it was all right. Whatever. It was something. And then I turn around and look back at my car, because I'm just sitting out there. My eyes are finally dilated by this point, because you're out in the dark, and I'm out there. It's really dark. I look back at the car and I look at the sky, and you can see the Milky Way, because again, you're out in the middle of nowhere. So you got these clouds over here on one side that are flickering. You can see the Milky Way. And then I look over, and the comet that everybody's been talking about is right behind Benny.
Oh,
and I was just like, why am I taking pictures that way?
Yeah.
Like,
when I could be shooting this.
Yeah. And the storm was still there. So like the first storm was the one that I was shooting, which was in front of me.
Yeah.
But the other storm was right behind Benny too, to the right. And you could see the comet. And I'm like, okay, we're turning around. So I picked the camera up, like ran over into the ditch, set it down. I was doing long exposures, and I sat there for another hour and a half taking long exposures of the comet, of the Milky Way, of this storm. Ended up getting some really, really cool shots. Actually, finally got the shot of lightning striking the ground and like the cloud lit up.
Oh yeah.
Got a couple others that are really cool with the cloud lit up and like lightning up in the cloud. And having Benny there, did some light painting with Benny. And you got the comet in the back. Like, I am so stoked to see what these pictures look like when I get done. Man. So I mean, it was a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just sitting on the side of the road, just taking pictures.
How cool.
And I think some of them are going to turn out good. I'm hoping that they do. From the screen on the back of the camera, they look good. I haven't had time to actually get them on the computer, and that sometimes the picture that's on the back of the screen you're really happy about isn't as good in the computer, and sometimes one that doesn't look as good is really good. So we'll have to see when it gets into the editing booth as to what they turn out. But that was an experience,
right?
And then
so how far into the trip home are you now?
I'm over half. Over halfway.
That's awesome.
I think the total home from Roswell was like 18 hours, and I'm 8 from home now. So I'm about 10. Yeah, nothing bad. And I've just been taking my time. Like, that's the nice thing about camping out of your car. You can just stop when you want. And you get tired, you just stop.
You can spend 2.5 hours on the side of the road.
Yeah, and just do whatever I want. It's great.
As a professional photographer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It took me a long time to actually be comfortable saying that I was a professional photographer, by the way. But I think I can say that now. Yeah. So it's
how cool.
So it's been a really cool trip. And then from there on, I mean, it's just been pretty smooth sailing from there, but just kind of cruising.
Yeah, running 40, I guess, probably, right?
Yeah, hopped up on I-40, and then I'll be running up to 44 to head to St. Louis and back home to Indiana.
He had actually made the turn headed towards Joplin out of Tulsa, and then finally caught me.
Yeah, you got back a hold of
Well, dude, you called last night. We were working on the cart, and I meant to call you back. And so luckily you weren't far from the house, so you just snuck down here. That's pretty cool. Well, let's talk about 666. So I picked up Thursday. Luckily, my wife is super cool, and I wasn't going to leave till Saturday, and then was going to catch up with them in Tulsa. But she was like, "Just go. You're not going to be being at home." Yeah. So I headed that way Thursday morning. Super cool. Love Ozark Raceway Park. Super neat track. That was a lot of fun. 2 days there. Registration. Talked to a ton of people. I want to give a big shout out to the Driven Racing Oil team. They let me I set up with them all day. So we had live stream stuff that was happening. I interviewed people. I ran around and grabbed some content. What was really strange is like I spent more time talking to people this time
Yeah.
instead of getting a lot of drag racing content. I still got some drag racing stuff,
Yeah.
but once I'm able to edit the videos down, it's really going to be about the stories. It's going to be about the people, the trip they were on, the cool stuff they'd seen, all that kind of thing.
Well, this event is all about that too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
and
so
that
different.
was the whole mentality I had going into it. Was like I wanted to hear what people thought. I wanted to hear all the cool stuff that people were seeing. And one of the first couples I talked to was Robert and Debbie Williams,
Mm.
and so they were going for top tourist again this year.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, man, they were working hard.
Yeah.
So
And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen, they actually didn't get it.
wow.
They
So
were basically runner up to the people that did get it.
Wow.
But it was
so who won it? Can we
oh, I can't remember. I
can
don't
okay.
remember their name.
No worries. We'll find that out. We'll have that
Yeah,
on the Wednesday
but
night
it
show.
was they were definitely up there, and Keith even came over and talked to them.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hey, like
Man,
you were mentioned so many times, you were definitely like up there. But
they were having a blast. Whether they won it or not, they had a blast in
Yeah.
it. They at I think by Wednesday they had visited like 126 places or
ridiculous.
something like
Yeah.
that, which is pretty cool to think, not just the thought of doing like figuring out what you want, but like then you've got to make those trips. You got to get back to the route.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find spots off the route. You got to get back.
Dude,
It'll be awesome.
it has to take so much. I mean, it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
so much extra time to do it, but it's so
Yeah.
worth it. I mean, like all the places that you see the 666 was here stickers. Like on
Yeah.
my way back through, I was stopping at places and just seeing them like
That's
randomly.
cool.
I was like, this is awesome. Like, and I even saw some racers on the way home. I forgot to talk about that.
Nice. Yeah.
So we went over to this will be in a video that's coming up. Okay. So before the whole Roswell thing, we actually went over Friday night after the award ceremony, drove over 2.5 hours, or almost 3 hours west of Roswell. And that's why I ended up in Roswell that next night, was because we were coming
Wow, yeah.
back. We went over there to White Sands, the testing range for the
Mhm.
military. They open it up once a year to go in to see where they dropped or where they detonated the first atom bomb.
How cool.
So the Trinity site's what it's called, and they open it up once a year, like from 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m. or 2 p.m., something like that. Like it's a very narrow window, one day a year that you're
Yeah.
allowed to go in. It's completely free. We got there that night before and camped there. And when we were talking about the middle of nowhere earlier, like this is even more middle of nowhere. Like
the very middle.
yeah, I mean like your phone's sitting there, but like SOS, like the entire time out
Yeah.
there. Like there's no service. You're on your own, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're out there. And so we camped. I think we were probably 8th in line when we got there around 11 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
We were about 8th in line.
Wow.
When we woke up that next morning at like 6 a.m., the line was farther than we could see. Like you could not see the end of it. I have no idea how far back it actually went at that point. We went into it, did the thing. I filmed a whole video of it. It'll be out on one of the adventure series in like a month or so. Got a whole bunch of videos and I'm trying to store back for that.
Yeah.
So, but when we left, okay, we got in at 8 o'clock. We left at 11
Mhm.
or 11:30 when we hit the gate and we were going back out.
Yeah.
The line was still over 3 miles long when we got
Oh
there.
my
Like
gosh,
as we
that's
were exiting,
crazy.
it was insane. So yeah, I mean, and you're out. I mean, when middle of nowhere, there's just
Yeah.
this line of people coming in, and in the line, we saw some of the racers like in the line trying to get through. I was like, oh man, I don't know if you guys are gonna get in.
It's crazy. 3 miles, dude. I
Dude,
can't imagine. That's awesome.
and it had been open for 4 hours already.
Wow.
It had been open for 4 hours, and there was still a 3 mile long line.
Man, that's crazy.
It was ridiculous. Then on the way home, I stopped at the Conoco station because I actually forgot to get a picture with Benny at the Conoco station on the way
Nice.
through.
Yeah.
So it actually happened. I needed gas, so I stopped in Shamrock, Texas, got gas, ran down like a block down the road, got my picture there, and then when I was leaving, one of the red Oldsmobile.
Mhm.
I don't remember
Yep.
their name. They went driving by and they were headed home too. So like I
That's
saw them
awesome.
leave, and then I got into Oklahoma City, and there's a Subaru that had been following behind me, and I got over in the right lane. They came around me, and the lady in the front or in the passenger seat like held up a like thing and it said Trinity site on it, and she was like, "I saw your car there," and like said hi. So
awesome.
that was really cool. But it's those types of things like on
Yeah.
a trip like this when you're out like meeting new people and just seeing. It's just so much fun, man. I love being on the road. It's a good time.
So think about that. And I always say we're like a group of nomadic hot rodders, right? That's how people lived, dude. Like that was their
Dude.
life. They just were always out and about, you know,
Uh,
like everybody moved around. I think there's like a part of us
that wants to do
that
that.
wants to do
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
I miss
wandering.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's homebody people, and then there's the wandering people. I mean, I get that. My grandma, I love my grandma. She is the sweetest old lady ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, she she is very much a homebody. Like,
Yeah.
if she doesn't have to leave, she's not leaving. Right?
Yep.
She's in a nursing home now. She's
Yeah.
96 and in a nursing home. But even before that, when she was living at home, like the only time she was getting out is like, I gotta go get groceries. I gotta go to the hair salon because I
Yep.
gotta get my perm done, and
Yeah.
then maybe go get a car wash or something. You
Yeah.
know, like never leaves the house. And so she doesn't understand, like, oh, why are you on the other side of the country? Like, you need to be, like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
be leaving. You know?
You shouldn't be that far.
Yeah, like,
And that really is like that's I don't know if it's maybe a generational thing.
yeah.
I truly think there's people that are I hate to call them homebodies, but there's people
No,
that just want to be home. They want to
well, and
feel
that's,
safe in their area and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, and that
And
it
then
takes
there's
all of us. You know, there's
yeah, I
all
mean
different
there's
types of people.
folks like us that want to be out.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at even the explorers back, like way back, you know, you
Yep.
got I don't know, this is an interesting topic to get on, but like whenever they were crossing the seas, you know, trying to find
Oh man.
America and stuff. I mean, those people that just had that drive to do that. Then
Yeah.
others, you know, they were comfortable where they were. They didn't want
Yep.
to do that type of stuff. I mean, and then you got the pioneers going into space and like
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong, those types of people that were, you know, they wanted to forge into that new territory, wanted to see new things. And I think it's just some of us have that drive to do that, and then others don't, and
Yeah.
that's just part of it. But man, I love it being out in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. It's like, and then cruising Route 66 or Route 66. I got yelled at the other day for calling it Route 66 because I know
Was it a local that yelled?
I don't know. It was like a comment on it.
Oh,
It was
gotcha.
funny. It was
Well, I want to talk about this comment from Mike here. Says, can you discuss releasing videos on the same or following day as compared to releasing videos after the event has ended and all the hype has dissolved?
I hate doing it after the event
Yeah.
because I don't get views.
Yeah.
Just to be honest. If I'm releasing, I used to do that. Whenever I first started, I would film throughout the week and then I would edit when I got home because at first I didn't have a laptop. I just had a desktop that
Yeah.
I used at home. So I would edit my videos when I got home on my desktop, which is at the time it was a really good computer. Now it's
Yeah.
a piece of junk, but compared to modern computers. But uh, that's how I started. You know,
Yeah.
I did it that way, and I didn't see, you know, a lot of success with it. I saw some, but you know, that people
Yeah.
didn't really. It seemed that after the hype was over, so I started doing the daily videos during the
Yeah.
event, and then that's when stuff kind of started picking up. I'm not saying that we're big or
Yeah.
anything because we're not there
Yeah.
yet, but it has definitely been better getting it out in a timely manner for me.
Yeah.
Now, your type of content is very different because you have a lot of interviews. You do like the
Yep.
weekly live streams and stuff. So talk about that, I guess, a little bit.
So our stuff is different because I like to tell a whole story,
Yeah.
and that takes all week to put
Yeah,
together.
absolutely.
So during the week, we'll do a lot of reels, we'll do a lot of shorts, all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. We'll tell some stories, or I'll do like a recap. I hate to even call it a daily recap,
yeah.
but I usually try the last few events I've been trying to put out a daily video, but man, it's tough.
Mhm.
You know, you drive till 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, you get somewhere, you get set up.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of food. Now you're looking at 2 or 3 hours worth of
Oh, at least.
editing ahead
Yeah.
of you. And man, that's just so tough. So what I found is that I have to almost shoot for shoot not plan for, but shoot for a daily video thought process when
Yes.
I'm going through the camera and what I'm going to do
Mhm.
for the day. You know, so the hardest part about drag and drive is like we don't know who's going to be there ahead of time. Typically, like there's not like a pre-list that's sent out, and then so you don't know what stories you're building.
No.
So Monday and Tuesday is everything. You just got to
Yeah.
get everything you can, and then by Wednesday we typically we'll have talked to somebody 2 or 3 times, or
Yeah.
they've had a story come about, or something like that.
Yeah. Storyline's progressing.
Yeah. And then by Wednesday, now I can whittle it down to 10 cars and start following those 10
Yep.
cars. But then by Thursday, I've got it back down to 5. And then,
Yeah.
Friday, last day of the event, I'm trying to go through and figure out what's the last bit of stuff. So to be honest, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I do know that once I get home, if I don't spend a lot of time editing it and telling a great story, then it doesn't get any
Yeah.
love. And you've got to do it quickly. You can't do it 3 months later.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
And one thing that you talked about there was filming with intent.
Yeah.
Was the way that you're filming. And I found that for myself, whenever I'm filming daily videos, I film them now with the intent of this is for that daily video. So
Yeah.
everything that I do, I flow it into the next clip so I don't
Yeah.
have as much editing, which has helped me immensely in that area. But I'm also trying to get into doing the thing like you're talking about, having something come after, except I want to do like more movie style stuff. And I've
Yep.
done a couple on the channel, but I would love to eventually get to a point that I do a movie style video after every event. So we'll have our daily
Yeah.
videos and then do that. I'm not guaranteeing this, so don't.
Here's the struggle with that, right? The struggle with that is you have photos that
Yep.
you're taking. You have your daily video shot that's typically done on your phone.
Yep.
I try and do it with the big camera. It's just almost too hard to
Yeah.
do it that way, because then I can edit on my phone if I shoot it that
Yeah.
way. But I typically don't. So we do live streams.
Uh-huh.
So okay, so
Yep.
now you have photos.
Yep.
Who you shoot for your customers.
Yep.
You have
And I do it for the full album that goes on the
Yep.
website.
Phone videos,
Yep.
right? That you're taking for your vlog style stuff.
Yep.
You have live streams from the events,
Yep.
from the route
route
stops
stops.
and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. And then you have your high quality, panning, nice
yeah.
lighting, all that kind of stuff. It becomes very difficult for one person to do.
Yes.
So you end up, that's how there's this line in the
Yeah.
sand where it's like, man,
We can
almost
only
need
get
to
so
hire
much.
somebody to just do one of those things, whatever, like on your side, whatever of those 4 styles, which one is your, not to say least favorite, but which one either takes the most time or gets in the way the most, then you
Yeah.
hire somebody for that.
Exactly.
But the only way to do that is to sell more photo packages or
Hey guys.
get more, get more sponsors on board, which is
Yeah.
kind of, a route you and I've talked about.
Yep.
For you. I feel like sponsors would be great for you with as much travel as you do and all the cool stuff you do. Finding some sponsors would be really cool because that would allow you to then
Yeah.
either pay someone to edit some stuff or, you could bring somebody along on a
Exactly.
couple events. And one thing
that is a goal for.
Yeah. I
eventually
mean,
for us.
one thing for Eric and I, we've talked about is, how do we have someone that can just sit in an RV, because that's going to be my ultimate goal, is to buy an
Yeah.
RV. How can someone sit in an RV and
Just
Eric and
edit
I
all
are
day.
running, grabbing content, and say we only do that with 3 events a year? That's a huge swing in having a very high quality daily video that someone is working on in the trailer like 1320 all the time.
Mhm.
And then you're out there doing what you love, which for me is interviewing people, getting some content, telling
Yeah.
stories, all that kind of stuff. How do I get to that and somebody else still be able to handle all the other
Yeah.
stuff? So
There's a lot.
sponsors and merch sales.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Hey guys. Hey, shop 3gvideo.net for,
Yeah,
for
right.
all your 3G video merch if you want.
Ken White saying, what's the next drag and drive on the calendar over here? Yes, it is Devon's
Street meet.
Southeast Street.
Although there is that other one. Have you seen anything about that yet? In Ohio,
Oh,
the
the
Old Man's
Edgewater?
Garage
Yep.
putting on. So that'll be, I don't know, it's like a 2-day thing or something.
I thought it was just a single day. They'll drive the loop that morning or something.
Oh, it might be. Yeah,
they'll
I
do
think
test
everybody's
passes
coming in Friday night.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Old Man's Garage finally stepping into it. I know that they did 666 or Sick Week.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Sick Week.
they did Sick Week, and he kind of followed along. His son and his friend or whatever.
It's cool to see his like he's so excited about it.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. It's interesting because he hasn't been to a lot of them. He hasn't really done a lot of seen a lot of the different stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see the fresh perspective of somebody coming in that's excited about it. Now, granted, some of the statements that he's like, "Oh, well, this hasn't been done." It's like, well, it has, but
right.
But some of that
and
stuff.
the biggest thing is man, I'm gonna soapbox here for a second, but we're kind of in this spot where True Street stuff, the class True Street is really what a lot of these guys are doing with single day events.
Yeah.
It's just a longer drive, and the phrase right now, drag and drive, is really cool. So they're trying to kind of tag along with that. And they want to be in it. And I think they want to do these events. They just haven't made the commitment to do them yet.
Yeah, because having the multiple days going multiple tracks, it's a lot.
Yep.
But
So, the way we typically see, the way we at Drag Driver Pete cover stuff for that's drag and drive,
Yeah.
quote unquote, we'll talk about everything that has the name drag and drive because we want the community to grow.
Yeah.
But for us to run stats and all that kind of stuff, it is literally you're going to drag race to get your best possible time.
Mhm.
You're going to drive a certain route, certain distance, and then you're going to drag race again.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we kind of draw the line on what we're following. And
yeah, so you're saying that the
running
drive has to
stats
be in between two different
Yeah.
racing. Okay.
Yep. And so there'll be a lot of single day events that we will see come out, like Cruise and Lose did a single day event
Yep.
a couple weeks ago, but they run averages, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because that's what we care about is the average time, because that's what matters the most. So you have events like Back to the Streets, Back to the Streets and Heads Up Hustle, which really did a heads up race
At the
style.
end. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Heads Up Hustle, Back to the Streets is a race every day. And you have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket that
Yeah.
kind of comes out from that. And so, but those guys are racing and then they're driving
Yeah.
and then they're racing and at different tracks and all that kind of stuff. So,
it's interesting the different takes on it. People that and the level of commitment that is going into it.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that don't want to have 3 or 4 days into an event. They just
Yeah.
want to do a single day, and then there are others that, like us, that are like, hey, oh, that's a 10-day event.
9
Let's
days?
go farther.
I mean,
Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
So, and I think what we're going to see, a lot of people talk about saturation. I don't think we're anywhere near saturated on the event series or on the event of Drag and Drive yet. The biggest thing is like there's so many people that haven't done one that I think we can see a bump in the regional events for these people getting their feet wet. 3 or 4 day event type stuff is always.
I hope that really does take off, the regional events, because I mean we're seeing some of them struggle and then some of them do really well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is, because it doesn't seem like. I mean, some of them, like your events, does really, really well. I mean, and you put a lot of work into it. You do really good. And I mean, and the people that go to it really enjoy it and all that. But there's some of the other ones that also have a decent amount of work put into that is a good event. Objectively, I've been to them. They're a good event. Like, they're put on well, they run smoothly, but they just aren't getting that car count that some of the other ones are. And it's like, what is going on? What is the difference? What's making that? I don't know. I don't know yet.
To be honest, I don't know. I will say for Heads Up Hustle, and John Paul Franks and I have talked about this, the Heads Up racing and Back to the Streets, this as well. The Heads Up racing side of stuff, you may lose a few of your drag and drive people, but then the other side of it, you're bringing in Heads Up racers, but they may be scared that their car won't make the drive part of it. So again, we're still so early in this.
Oh, for sure. We're still forging new
community that it really is going to be interesting to see the next few years. So Ronald L here asks, what would you say is the toughest drag and drive event any of you have experienced? I'm going to say Rocky Mountain, just because the drives are long and I love the racing at night, but man, by about day 4, it's tough.
It is. Rocky Mountains, it's hard. Especially this year. 1.0 this year was.
Yeah. It was like 1,300 something miles, right?
Well, that wasn't the bad part.
Yeah.
It was 120 degrees.
Yeah.
That was rough. That particular this year, that specific event, I would say, is the hardest one I've ever been.
Yeah.
Just because of the weather. And I mean, the route wasn't easy. I'm not taking anything away from that. I mean, Rocky Mountain's always had long drives and had that, but you come to expect that. At this point, we're used to that. Like, that's not a big deal. But whenever you add on that element of, hey, your stuff's going to overheat immediately. You are going to overheat immediately.
So there was a part, and like, listen, I drive a little Saturn to and from these events. The trans temp on the Saturn was 220.
I don't even want to talk about the engine temp. It was bad.
Those trans temp. The engine temp was like 235 or something. All right. So, and then Tom Bagley here saying, my man, love you, dude.
Hey, bud.
He said, I see the same. I hate editing videos long after the events because I forget things, but then it's hard with normal life in the way sometimes. That is true. And then he said that he plans on daily videos on his next trip.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait to see him back over here. I know there was some situation he wasn't able to come over for 666, and a lot of his friends were over here. We were contacting back and forth to him. We missed you, bud. I totally understand why you weren't here. But
They were talking about plates and 28s. Yeah, again, single day events I think are the next big step. We
Yep.
can see a lot of what would have been True Street events that will be converted kind of to drag and drive names or event styles where longer drives. That's the key for me,
Yeah.
right? I'm cool if you're going to send your guys on a 70-mile drive.
Yeah.
A 30-mile drive, that's a True Street class all
Yeah.
day. But 70 miles, 100, boy, that'd be
100,
great.
100's good. Yeah.
You know, you could eat for breakfast. You could meet for breakfast, 7 a.m. Waffle House.
Yep.
Then you drive
First of all,
a 50 miles one way and then loop around and 2 or 3 route stops, you know, stuff like that. I think that is going to really test people's ability to build cars,
Yeah.
especially because we're seeing a lot of street cars, you know, in air quotes, that come out thinking they're going to do these and they realize how hard driving that car on the street and making passes is.
well, and just, you know, heat. I mean, people don't realize how much heat you put into a car when you start driving at
Yeah.
that, and especially things that are hopped up to that level that are already kind of on the ragged edge, and then you're like, hey, okay, go out here and drive down that road for
Yeah.
5 hours and just like don't
Yep.
break it.
Sarah Thorpe said I love Jesse's live feeds during 666. It was a lot of fun. Yep.
Yeah,
A lot of cool stuff. Tom Bagley, I have a love-hate relationship with Rocky Mountain Racing. Yeah. And then Ronald L. Yeah, this year's Rocky Mountain Racing was absolutely brutal. And Tom, we miss you as well. And a big shout out to Robert Voss, who just jumped in here. Man, awesome seeing that dude. They struggled so hard, overcame so many just adversity, man, and stayed in as long as they could. So
I love seeing everybody come on and
yeah.
like even if they don't finish the week, you know, just seeing people like come in and try their hardest to finish. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like those stories are so cool. And I mean, that's part of what makes it what it is. I mean, the fact that when we come to the last day and you have 20% of the people gone because they couldn't make it, like that's just part of it. But they tried, you know, they actually got out, they attempted, and they'll know what to do for next time and hopefully come back better.
And what's wild to me is like it's always about 20%. It's always about 18 to 21 is about the number
we broke that record this year though, didn't we? With one that had the highest.
Oh yeah, just some
was
crazy.
That Rocky Mountain or
no, I think it was Sick Week that had a
ton
of attrition, but that's what happens when you're in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, well, I mean everybody hasn't either the car is at the end of its cycle and they haven't put it apart yet to do it for the winter, or they scrambled to get it done before that event and everything's fresh and
and no testing.
Yeah, exactly.
Robert Voss says, I'm winning an orange helmet next year. Mikey in here. Jesse, did you figure out why the cold starts were grumpy?
Oh, I believe he was talking on I had one video that was the last video I just put out. I'm assuming that it had some water in the cap, or it had some water in there. Now I actually ended up, this will be in another video at some point, but I think I got some water in the fuel tank at a gas station the other night because it's running a little rough right now.
Water in the fuel tank? Anywhere near Roswell?
No, no. This was actually at this was in Oklahoma City, I think. When I filled up in Oklahoma City, I think I got some water in the tank. So it's been through a tank and a half now, and it's still. I'm gonna fill up here and hopefully it'll get better. We'll see.
Ken White here, big shout out to him again. Also, Dave Schroeder is a legend for driving that Ford.
Dude, oh my goodness!
How cool is that?
Oh, it was so cool.
Listen, I kept trying. So we ran into each other at the Big Texan in Texas, obviously.
Yep.
And so I tried all day the next day to get over and talk to him about the car, but he was gone, or I was with somebody and he would be at the car, and then by the time I'd get done with them and get done shooting the B-roll stuff, he'd be gone. Like,
I got to talk to him a little bit about it. I mean, that car is just. I mean, when you get up and look at it, like.
It's cool, man. Flathead powered 29,
perfect.
Right?
Yeah,
32, something.
I don't know that era of car very well, to be honest. But man, like for an example of that car, like everything is immaculate. Like it's perfect. And he had some charging issues with the alternator, and he was running through the night after the mountain drive on the second drive day of 666. We were coming down into town and we passed him. He didn't have his headlights on. He just had the running lights because the alternator wasn't charging enough to run. Yeah, it was bad.
Man.
So like, okay. But we ended up at that last checkpoint, ended up getting to sit down. I got to talk to him for a little bit. We were just sitting there and just talking. He didn't actually realize that I camp at all of them. And I was talking about building a little camper. He's like, oh, you wouldn't want to camp at these events. I'm like, bro, I camp at all of them.
Yeah. That's
That was
awesome.
funny.
Yeah, I was gonna set the tent up at Albuquerque, and then somebody started talking about scorpion. John started talking about scorpions.
Oh, I told
So-
him about them.
Yep. Somebody was talking about spiders. Melissa, my wife's talking about spiders, and somebody else talking about snakes. I'm like, nope. I just slept in the car that night. That was the rough.
I'm just always sleep in the car. It works great.
I know, but not in the Saturn, man. That's.
I'm also a lot shorter than you guys, so I actually fit in a lot of places that.
Well,
like
but like
cars,
you've got the back of the Volvo set
Yeah.
up for it. You
Oh, I
know?
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's my home. It's
that's my
home.
goal, is to build something I could sleep in, or I'm fixing to build a trailer or something. I don't know.
I'm hoping to build a little trailer at some point.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal. And then my dad's talking like he wants to go on a couple of them. Not all
Yeah.
the time, but
Yeah.
you know, if I had a little trailer, he could camp out of the trailer and
Yeah.
have a bed and everything. That would make it a lot easier for him. And then
Yeah.
I can camp out of the car, back to the car, and then we can travel together. So
Yeah, that'd be
that's
cool.
kind of the thought. And then if you know, I'm able to get somebody else who wants to come along
Yeah.
or whatever, I'll actually have room for them. So
Yeah.
right now it's
Again, like
not.
we talked earlier, somebody to help edit, somebody
Yep.
to help shoot, somebody to help all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
you know. Hey,
and,
if you have all that and you are willing to work for like no money, just let me know.
no,
I'm
you're
joking.
working for the adventure.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you want.
This is a lifelong adventure you're going to be on. Memories, man, memories. Yeah, Tom Bagley. I've slept in some crappy places.
Yeah.
Upright in the Kirky on the side of the highway.
Oh yeah.
before. Yeah. No way. No way.
That shack is that car is something.
Yeah. He slept in the Tulsa Raceway parking lot, I think.
Dude, I've seen him.
at one
I've
point.
seen him sleep in that thing everywhere. Like all
Oh.
Rocky Mountain Racer, he was just sleeping everywhere.
No
Which
way.
I
We
love
We
that.
gotta
dedication.
get Tom a rooftop tent.
You gotta get him something. You gotta figure something because I know camping in a car. I got the luxury of camping in a car, but
Yeah.
man, I couldn't do what he does, man. That's
Right.
rough.
Robert Voss. I actually have a Dragon Drive trailer that you can sleep in that I'll be selling
Oh.
cheap.
Thought.
Yeah.
I
Maybe.
really thought.
Yeah, something like that. I think I want to build one just because I want to build one.
Yeah, I kind of.
What I really want, and I've talked about this a bunch. What I really want is a canned ham 12-foot camper that's from like the 60s.
Yeah, because you're wanting to make the.
Yeah, I want a
podcast
podcast room.
Yeah.
I want to mount microphones to the ceiling. Yeah. I want them to come down and people can sit in there, and we'll be able to hang meat in there with the air conditioner. And people can come in and enjoy the AC.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna get people in. Is like,
Yeah,
hey,
like,
you want
hey,
some free AC?
It's 61 in here. Do you want to sit in here for a little bit? So, Josh Riker saying, Robert Voss, you are an orange helmet. That's awesome. Yeah, this is a good one here too. Ken White saying the irony is Tom's Daily is a big BMW touring with loads of room to sleep in, and that is true, and it looks amazing. But I saw Tom saying he may be selling it. Listen, we got to get him ready to come to the States, man. That's what we need to do. All right. Yeah, mobile command canned ham. That's what I need for, and I think it would look really cool pulled behind the old truck, as we go across there. Okay, well, let's talk about event stuff. So 666, did you get to mark any new tracks that you'd never been to?
So the only tracks that I had been to previously were the first three.
Oh, cool.
So I've been
Yep, Ozark,
Mocan, and Tulsa.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was your event. Yeah. And then Rocky Mountain had Tulsa there. That was I think Rocky Mountain 2.0 a couple years ago was the first time I'd been at Tulsa.
Nice.
When I was with Brandon Tapp.
Yeah.
I rode with him. That was the first time I'd been at Tulsa. And then Mocan was, I think, the first time I was with you. And then here at Ozark was either with you or was I don't remember. But I wasn't at those this time, so I missed the first 2 days from this event. But yeah, after we got out there, going to Amarillo, going to Albuquerque, and then Roswell, those were all three brand new tracks for me. Dude, Roswell's track is so cool. Like, it would be perfect for a no prep race.
Really?
Then, dude, it would be so cool. Like, it just because the scenery, you're literally on the side of a military base, and there's so you got fighter jets flying in and out all day. I forgot that you weren't there. That's why I was like, why are you looking at it?
Yeah,
you weren't there. You got fighter jets flying in and out on the runway that's actually still open. The track is on another runway that's been shut down and turned into a drag strip.
Yeah.
And then you have an entire boneyard of airplanes that's just parked out beside the racetrack. There's a 747 backed up with its tail at the finish line.
That's pretty cool.
It is so cool looking. And then there's just 3 massive planes sitting in a row at the finish line. They got down at the big end where you turn around. There's people cutting planes apart. Like that's the scrapping area. Like it is so cool. And then going out and taking pictures. You know, like honestly, we didn't even want to take starting line pictures.
Yeah.
Because like, oh yeah, you get a picture of the tower and whatnot. Or
So
you go down, or you go down to the big end and get like planes in the background. Because
cool.
like, yeah, okay.
That's cool. Well, I had a thought there.
Yeah.
I had a thought on the camping side of stuff.
Yeah.
Because for the circuit 2025, I want to do something special for campers.
Dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of in my mind thinking like, you know, you camp all the time. What are some things?
Showers.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely have those. I've been looking at the mobile units actually,
cool.
you know, and
So
just renting those and bringing.
For those of you who don't know how we do it when there isn't showers, I have a Planet Fitness membership, and a lot of us do, like John does, and that. We'll just go to Planet Fitness because they're all over the place. You get a black membership, then you get showers there. So that's been a huge help. Hey, Planet Fitness sponsor me. Anyway,
I don't know why they don't.
But that's worked out really, really well for us. You know, if you need to get a workout in, you can. I honestly don't. I really should be, but the showers are perfect.
Treadmill for 15 or 20.
Yeah, something. But the going in, getting a clean shower and just getting a shower, you know, is huge. And then get over to the track and camp. I mean, making sure that it's easy access for us to get into the track is huge. That's one thing that it trips people up sometimes whenever the gates are closed, but they're just dummy locked or something. You know, whenever you go up, whenever they are expecting us, but you don't know that. That'll sometimes mess with the campers and just things like that. People that are camping normally just kind of go to bed. Granted, we get pretty tired. I mean, I understand. I end up all night because we're editing and working, but a lot of people that are camping are just trying to make sure that they can find somewhere that's quiet, that's dark, and they can
boring.
Sleep. Hey,
boring.
Hey.
So that's what my plan is. I want to kind of have a gathering spot, like parking lot beers for the campers. I want to have a spot maybe that's got like a fire pit or something like that. Especially in April, it's going to be still kind of chilly at night. So
having a fire pit would be pretty dope. That would be cool.
An area for people to kind of hang out, because that's what we get in the hotel parking lots. Is because everybody's kind of either in the lobby or they're out in the parking lot, kind of hanging out doing some maintenance. I don't know. I want something like that for the circuit badly.
That'd be cool.
So we're going to do something like that. We've Eric and I have already been talking about maybe who can run the camp counselor thing. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but camp counselor is kind of number one.
Really hoping we can get a bigger group that camp, because I mean, like when you start going to a lot of these events, like those hotel room bills start adding up a lot.
Yeah,
and I know for a lot of the guys a lot of these guys will only do like 1 or 2 events a year, and they just want to have it as vacation, have hotel rooms. I understand that. But if you're one of us that like just enjoy going to as many of them as possible, and you can get that time off, or you're able to, saving costs becomes a big thing. Because I mean, when you're looking at doing 5 or 6 of these a year,
if you have 6 nights at $100 a night average, I mean that's
you ain't getting them for $100.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, you know, we have negotiated some pretty good rates for the circuit racers, but like we're 6 months from it, you know, and like those guys are making reservations right now. Typically, you know, they're not that early with hotels and stuff like that, or they're nicer hotels. Like, dude, sick week, man, hotels are $200 a night. You know, so if you
that's our keep rate.
If you did that for 7 nights, that's $1,500 just in hotels. You know,
I mean.
So you can really get out of hand.
And for the people that are just getting into the sport or something that they just want to be able to participate, they don't have, you know, the fastest thing out there. They're not, you know, going for records or anything, but they just want to participate. Like that barrier to entry is that's kind of hard pill to swallow. So it's like, if we can get that camping to be more normalized and people realize, oh, you can do this. Like you can come out here and not do it for, I mean, like, I'm not saying that there isn't money involved, because there definitely is. I mean, you're going to have to save up to be able to do it, but you can cut costs in a lot of different ways.
And even if you camped 3 of 5 nights, you know, that makes a big difference.
It does. And I mean, and the camping community is pretty cool. I mean, like to see the setups. I
just wish you guys would stay up later.
Hey,
listen, I pull in at like 10:30 or 11. Everybody's asleep. I know you, and I talked, but like,
come on. I was working.
You're working. You're not going to sit around the fire pit and drink 2 beers with me. You know, you don't drink. So, like, you know, if you're the only person awake, I go to work.
Yeah,
you know, but
that's maybe not a bad thing for you.
I would much rather hang out and get some story for the day from somebody else at the campsite. So
I wish we did have a bigger group that was camping.
and I think we could realistically if there was more for the camper, because right now there's nothing for the campers.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we'll go set your tent up, see you in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and kind of lean into that a little bit. I will obviously be at the hotels because that's where a lot of the stories are going to be and stuff like that. But if we can end up having like a camp counselor, it'd be kind of fun. Somebody let the gate in, somebody keep the fire stoked, keep the drinks cold.
Tom's saying we probably won't be sleeping much on Mega. Dude, I haven't figured that week out yet.
Can we get into that? Should we get into that as we kind of? I've got to get back to work here soon, but let's talk about Mega Week because I have some insider stories, but I'm not telling them. But I will say that the Mega Week dates and tracks will be announced very soon on a live stream with Matt Frost himself.
Okay.
So
awesome. With you.
We're putting times together and all that stuff. Adam Dory will be there. Chad Reynolds will be there, kind of like we did when we announced Mega Week. Yep. We'll be back on there doing all that again. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get some more details on it. It's
let's just say it's all day of racing.
Oh no, dude.
So think about this. Like you have Robert Voss. I'll be the camp counselor, bro. Let's talk. I'll message you after this. The biggest thing with 600 cars and an A-B list is that you literally have to think about, you have 300 cars from event A and you have 300 cars from event B. You can't run all those together because nobody wants that. Plus, you need to kind of cycle through all of it. So, Matt has said it before, morning time for one group, afternoon time for the other. Dude, you start kind of putting the math together, and these times are not what it's going to be. But if you figure 9 to 3 for Group A and 3 to 10 for Group B, dude.
Yeah, and if we're trying to cover, it depends. For us as media, it's a whole different aspect from a racer. Like from a racer standpoint, if you're just doing A or B, like it's just a normal event, like whatever. It's not as big of a deal. When we look at it, it's just a big question mark of how in the world are we going to do this? Because you're either going to get everything at the track, get no sleep, get nothing on the road, or you're going to do because we still have to drive to the tracks at some time in there. You got to drive, and then you're not going to get anything on the road because nobody's going to be traveling when you're traveling. Everybody, not at the time that you will.
Dude, there'll be people. That's what's going to be the people about this event is people out there.
Well, because like the first group will run of a morning and they will leave. So if we stay at the track and we're filming all night, they've already left and are at the next track. Yeah. So when we leave, this other group's staying the night here. So we're traveling with nobody.
Oh man, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So you're either going to get everything at the track and nothing on the road, or you're going to get everything on the road and nothing at the track. Or you're just going to cover a group, or you're just going to cover.
I'll tell you right now, I'm getting stuff on the road. It's like
it's gonna be.
Listen, drag racing is cool. I love drag racing.
Yeah,
but man, I'm telling you, my jam is the road. My jam is
dude. I love. Oh, dude.
The stories the people broke down.
And people are gonna probably hate me for this. I prefer drive days.
Dude, drive days are awesome because you have way more opportunity to do all that. Yeah,
like they are my favorite because one, we get to travel. I love traveling.
Yep.
2, you get crazy scenery.
Yep.
I mean, you get to see new things. Awesome. Love that. As we already talked way earlier, nomad life. We love exploring and going out. And then you just get to like spend time with race car friends all day. Like anywhere you stop, there's race cars. And you're just like, yes, like bring it on, right? So I mean it's definitely one of those things. I love drive days. I love being at the track, don't get me wrong. I mean I enjoy that, but why I like drag and drive so much is because we actually drive our cars. Like you actually drive it out on the road. Like
and you spend real time, and it's not 80 miles; it's 400,
1,300, 1,500, whatever.
It's pretty wild. So let's talk about the circuit 2025 real quick, and then we'll lead into something that you and I were talking about before this. So the circuit 2025 registration opens the end of the month for returning racers. We have followed along with Rocky Mountains deal, so returning racers get early entry and the discount here. but we also open it to their co-pilots if they want to race this year.
Oh,
So
cool.
that's a little different, mainly because, again, just like Rocky Mountain, we want to keep this community and the vibe and everything the same. And that's what Rocky Mountain has done so well for so long, is they do this returning entry, and like 70% of the tickets go that way.
Yeah.
Well,
it does make it harder for new people to get in, but at the same
yeah.
time, like it makes
get on the wait list.
Oh, absolutely.
Show up. For us, so that's October 31st. So returning racers, and if their co-pilot wants to enter, they'll have 24 hours.
Yep.
Then we are opening it to racers that registered last year. This is a new thing. Nobody does this, I don't know, but racers that registered last year but didn't make it, they get the next step.
That makes sense.
They'll pay $300, which is our entry for this year. So they'll pay for that step, right? But they get that'll be uninterrupted for like 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then we go into the early list.
Mm-hmm.
That runs for the next 12 hours. And then if we have any public, we'll open it up then November 2nd at like 10 a.m. So
perfect.
I'm excited about this year. We're going from 150 to 200. So there will be opportunity for new racers this year. Yep.
Yeah.
There's no way 150 people from last year plus 50 more co-pilots are signing up to race their own car. So we'll have openings, and then the wait list. I mean, I would expect the wait list to just go bananas, simply because people are going to want to do the circuit. We're going to have fun. We did a pre-party last year. We're doing that again this year, and then we're having a huge racer party on Saturday night. We're racing Tulsa, and then Mocan, and then back to Tulsa. And the cool part about being at Tulsa is that the legendary Tulsa Midnight Drags is going to be open the Saturday night before we end. So let me paint you guys a picture here. Thursday night, we're going to party, racer party, kind of get hanging out. There's VIP tech that people can purchase. We're only open at the 60 spots. All of that money goes directly to the charity. So then we have the racer party on Thursday night. That's 6 to 10 p.m. Everybody go to your hotel, hang out. Friday, up bright and early, racing. We drive to Mocan. That's Friday. Saturday morning, we'll race at Mocan, haul butt back to Tulsa for the racer party. Racer party is 6 to 10 Saturday night. Then at 10 p.m., Tulsa Raceway Park will open for a Midnight Drags race, which is, I mean, really a great way to get people off the street from street racing, bring it in. The tech is low. There's always money being exchanged for races, some grudge races going on. And then we'll have some classes set up to do all that. And it'll be a way for people to race.
Heads up stuff?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. It'll be a full on heads up eliminations race. 5 or 6 classes is kind of what's in my mind. John Woolley handles a lot of the Midnight Drag, so he'll handle that, but we'll work together for that. And then Sunday, we'll race from like 10 to 2 or something like that and do awards. So theoretically, if enough people show up Saturday night, because the Midnight Drag is open to the public.
Yeah.
So we'll have a great opportunity to pitch drag and drive to new people, but also it's going to be a great way for people that don't want the weekend to end to enjoy it. So the last midnights I was at covering social for Tulsa, we raced till 8 a.m. So if we do that again, you could theoretically race Saturday morning, race all night Saturday night, and then need to still make your 2 passes on Sunday to complete your drag and drive. So
it's a lot.
we talked about camping earlier. For the folks that are going to camp at Tulsa, we may need to figure out something for you for Saturday night, whether it be a KOA campground discount rate or something like that.
Maybe even something back by the circle track or something. If you open up some area back there, so you can just have a little ways away.
It'll be so loud because like we're not talking about street cars, or you're talking about like dragsters and
they actually bring.
Yeah, I mean, it's not streetcar stuff all the way. So Tom Bagley asking what's the dates. April 3rd will be our kickoff day. That's the racer pre-party and VIP tech, and then we'll run till Sunday, April 6th.
Dude, so your event I'm looking forward to, and I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting here with him. This is one of the best regional events by far. Okay, I mean, like I'm not saying I've been at all of them because I haven't, but I've been to a lot of them. And like yours definitely stands out in a lot of ways. He takes care of his drivers. He takes care of the people. He always wants to make it a good experience for everybody. Even like his route stops. Like, I mean, last year we went go-karting for Pete there. That was
Yeah.
awesome, man. That was
I don't know if we're gonna be able to go kart. That's kind of my plan for this year, but maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
No, but that was awesome.
Working on
last year,
something next week,
Yeah.
and I'll know for sure. One thing that is different this year. Last year, my daughter sold snacks. This year, she's just going to pass them out.
Oh,
And
nice.
she'll be accepting tips. So,
Okay, cool.
so it'll be. I think it'll be a great way for her to earn a little bit of income,
Yeah,
but also help keep the racers hydrated and
dude,
fueled up.
for sure.
So, as we wrap up the show here, let's talk about what you and I were talking about before this.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about one other thing.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
So we're talking about the adventure stuff earlier.
Oh yeah.
And then talking about your event. That reminds me that I will be flying in
Yes.
from a location that is not this country, right before your event, and have a little bit of jet lag because it's only 17-hour difference. So we're gonna have some fun. It'll be
Oh
good.
yeah.
But yeah, so if you like the adventure content or that we were talking about earlier, make sure you follow along because we're gonna have a lot of it coming out this winter.
Yeah.
Um,
3G video.
Yep, 3G video, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that. It's gonna be insane. Haven't got part of the trip figured out. I know I guess this is happening. We've already got tickets and stuff. So we will be going to New Zealand for 2 months.
That's awesome.
Right after sick week. So it's literally gonna be like get done with sick week, cannonball home, hop on a plane, go to New Zealand for 2 months, get on a plane, hop back and cannonball to your event immediately.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's gonna be
You'll be so relaxed though. 2 months of vacation.
Dude, it's gonna be so
It's
sick.
not like you're gonna be doing anything but laying on the beach.
Yeah, not gonna be doing anything. No. We're actually going over there for ministry stuff.
Yeah.
So my parents do a lot of itinerant ministry, and they've been over there a lot of times. We have a lot of friends over there, and I've met a lot of them through them.
Yep.
Just like on FaceTime and stuff. I haven't actually got to see them in person. Only a couple of them come
That's
over
gonna
the
be
stage.
awesome, dude.
So I'm excited to do that. And then there are some stuff over there that are in the works. We're getting kind of figured out. So there's going to be car content coming out of it. It's going to be a lot of travel stuff, a lot of crazy stuff.
Yep.
We're just trying to get some of that still situated and such, but it'll be a good time. So be looking forward to all that. I don't know exactly what those 2 months are going to look like content wise, but we're going to have a lot of stuff coming out. So
think of all the new stuff you'll get to meet over there and see, and all the it's gonna be really.
It's gonna be awesome. We're hoping to grow the channel and grow things enough that we're going to be doing some more overseas stuff as well.
That'd be cool.
I don't know next year or the year after. We're still working on it.
What you're saying is sponsors would be great.
Sponsors would be fantastic to help with this stuff, yes. But we're definitely wanting to spread some love with the Dragon Drive stuff around the world rather than just here in the US. So
nice.
What was it?
It was Jonathan Stonecipher said, I thought this year was square dancing. Shh. Boot scooting boogie.
Oh, gee.
And then Tom Bagley says, Jesse, you might have a 7-hour time zone trip in June too.
Yeah, we haven't said anything about that yet.
Nice.
Yeah, we're hoping. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. We're hoping, Tom. That is definitely on the radar. So
that's awesome.
Trying to get that figured out as well.
Dragon Drive worldwide.
Yeah. There's a couple of them we're trying.
Jesse Fox everywhere.
Trying. My goal eventually is to get to all 7 continents.
That'd be cool.
Eventually. I mean, not necessarily Dragon Drives, but like adventures and stuff. Like that is definitely on my radar of one of the goals. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know. That's a different time. Anyway, but yes, other thing that we were talking about earlier. And this is very, very, very much in the preliminary thought process of even not
so you put it in the world right here.
Yeah, this is the first time that it's been said anything out of even the thought of it. I don't think my parents even know that I'm thinking of this, so they're gonna love this. I'm thinking about it, and we want to see some response and see what you guys think of it. Of possibly doing a Dragon Drive, a 3G video Dragon Drive, and actually hosting our own event. I don't like it when I say that this is like just barely in the concept of thinking like this was 2 days ago of thinking, oh, this might.
Yeah, this is the 10 hours of windshield time you've had from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has been me just driving, going like, oh, this would be fun to do. So,
well, listen, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely be something that would be, with as many events as you've been to, I think you have a very good idea of what racers would look for, what would be fun tracks, what would
Yeah.
be fun activities, what would be great route stops, all that kind of stuff. And especially, you know, depending on where you wanted to host it across the country, you know, you have contacts that would have contacts at most tracks anywhere. So I mean, that would be.
I mean,
know,
I have
easy.
something really, really crazy, and this is not for this event. This is another idea of an event.
Oh man,
I have two actually crazy ideas, but I don't think you guys are ready for that yet.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get everybody
dude,
there.
I feel like a drag and drive from a Jesse Fox 3G video drag and drive would be great. I think it would work.
I think it would be a lot of fun. It's something that I'm definitely kicking around. It's something that I would love to do. And when we say preliminary, like we're not like, oh, we're doing it this time.
Let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this. This will tell us. Have you written anything down on a piece of paper?
No.
Okay, so we're early in this. So there's things we can change.
Very, very early, but it is something that is a real possibility of something that I would really like to do.
Yeah, awesome.
There's going to be a lot of planning that goes into it, obviously, and I want to make sure that when we do it, that it's not just thrown together. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to do this in 2 months, and like, no, that's not happening.
Too hard.
It's definitely going to be something that we're going to plan out a lot. I'm going to have a lot of talks with Michael here because I know he puts on a good event and he's got a lot of good ideas. And I'm gonna work with a lot of people, and I want to show up at the first event. If we're doing something, I want to do it. I want to do it right. So
well, and again, I think you can do that, and depending on your timing and stuff like that, gives you plenty of opportunity for promotion and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can get a lot of people from the community in and excited about it. You know,
if people don't come from the community, they're gonna suck. Yes. And we're actually I'm working to bring Eric with me this time. So it'll be Eric and I taking on Sick Week, which I'm really excited about.
I'm also looking at maybe going down to Florida like a couple weeks before that.
So
we might be going to see some racing down in Florida.
The US Street Nats is the weekend before then.
Okay.
And I've been back and forth with Damon Steinke, who is the photographer for Midwest Drag Race Series. Been back and forth with him about, you know, is it worth it to go make that trip and be there for US Street Nats and then do Sick Week?
Is that in Gainesville or is that in?
Yeah, Gainesville. Okay. Yep. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope. Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some stuff lined out because I want to get some really good content throughout the winter for you guys. I also have a lot of builds that are kind of in the fire at the moment too. So we're trying to get that figured out. I know I have alluded to a couple of secret builds for over a year now that haven't been on the channel, and everybody's like, "Are they actually real?" And it's like, they are, I promise, but it's just haven't been able to release those yet. But.
Yeah. Well, you know, a build series is really tough because you've got to almost work ahead because with your travel, you
I don't want to start
one and then 3 months later post one more video and then 3 months later another video.
Yeah, because it's going to take a long time to get some of these done, and I don't want to be like dragging it out for years and like people are like, oh, you're never actually going to do anything. It's like, well, but there's other stuff I'm doing.
So. if you can drop a series at once, it'd be great.
It's going to be cool. That is the plan. So
yeah, there you go. Is this the 3G video guy? It sure is.
Yeah, this is.
All right, let's run through here real cool. Stefan will have his new car there then. Sweet. Stefan Rossi. It's probably offloading the boat tomorrow in Florida.
Hey, we need to go to Florida.
Oh, Gustafson. Yeah, I was thinking Stefan Rossi, but yeah, dude, bring it on. The black 70 Camaro Pro Mod. That car is going to be so fast.
This year's going to be ridiculous.
One of the 5-second cars that's going to be coming out next year. You know, we're talking about that car. You got Ryan Hargett's Camaro that's going to be very, very fast with the Coyote in it.
Yep.
Brett LaSala's new car. That car's already been fast.
What is his new car, man? I haven't even seen it yet.
Like low sixes. I think 6 O's or something like that.
Like 315 tire.
Yeah, we'll know next week at World Cup.
Oh yeah, he's running World Cup.
And then who else? We got Stefan Gustafson. We talked about
the Viper. It won't be at Sick Week.
Ned with the Viper.
Sick Week or
I don't know. I don't know what his typical thing is. If he's going to
He's just been doing Drag Week. That's all we've seen him at.
And then he may need to get that monkey off his back first. And I can appreciate that. And then so that car's got to be 5-second kick within 6 O's. And then there's somebody else that I'm forgetting. Somebody else. Oh, not a 5-second car, but Cal Hayward's car. His new car is going to be a 6-second car. So lots of very, very fast things next year. And there's another car being built that's still a secret, but is the owner's telling people about, that is going to be next level from the car he already has.
Okay. Oh, I know who you're
That's
talking
all
about.
I'm going to say.
Yeah, I
for
know
now.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be something we'll release
Yep.
pretty soon here. And then bad tree. I just want to get in the tens, bro. Me too. Me
Feel you,
too.
dude.
Yeah, I just want to get in the 12s.
Bro, I broke into the 9s and the 8s.
That's awesome. All right, dude, we got to bounce. I got to get back to work. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Thanks for all the comments. Appreciate
Yeah,
that a whole
guys.
bunch. It's been awesome. Appreciate Jesse making
Dude.
the
Hey,
taking the detour and coming down here.
Hey,
It's
thanks for
pretty cool.
taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude,
Take
it's
the time
awesome
showing me the
to-
shop and everything, but be looking
Man.
forward to that on our videos. So
Yeah,
have that on.
I wish we had finished the transmission in the cart last night so we
Oh,
could do burnouts. That
oh,
would
that
have
would have
been
been fun.
stupid. Exhaust stud broke off, and we fought that for
Oh.
hours and hours.
That happens.
Sixth summer this next year, I believe, starts at Byron or Cordova.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
one of the two. I can't remember
That makes
where
sense.
it's at. But you definitely got to come to that one.
Yeah, they don't have internet.
That
There.
was a
At
ton of
either
fun.
of those
No.
tracks. It's
No.
awful.
Oh, Tri-State, hopefully.
Ooh,
That'd be cool too. I
I do
know
like
that'd be one of the stops.
Tri-States. I like the Great Lakes. Great Lakes, they have a huge crowd. Like, I mean, all those
Dude,
tracks.
Great
are
Lakes
good.
was insane.
Dude,
how
all those
the
tracks have insane crowds.
Tuesday was packed, like 2,800
Like
people. or
middle of the
something
week,
crazy.
and the thing is just completely packed. And then Cordova and Byron, they both have good crowds normally. I mean,
Yeah.
Byron has a lot bigger crowd than Cordova's normally, but
Yeah.
like they still both have good crowds. I mean,
Yeah.
all those tracks up there,
Oh man, Tom Bagley may do six summer too.
man.
It would be good timing to do that with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would. Oh my goodness. Oof.
All right, cool, guys. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you soon.
Hit that subscribe button on all of them. Follow us.